someone else. Two biggest things you could do to make yourself good is, number one, be prepared for a lot of rejection. Kind of the question you asked me. If you're prepared for it and it comes along, it's not going to bug you as much. Very, very important. The second thing is, make sure your service or your product is the very best there is. Then you're in the reorder business, not the selling business. If you want to go in the selling business just to sell your product, well, that could be a one-time event. If everything you do is for them to like it so much, they want to use it again. Or if it's a one-time product, they want to tell their friends about it. Now you're in longevity in your business. Those are two of the secrets. And smile and be happy. I never had to prove anything in the world. I was what I was. We were immigrants, single mom. Dad was a deadbeat dad, and he took off before I was 2 years old. It was just something, we were around a positive environment. We didn't have any money, and we lived in a very small little dinky place in Echo Park. Yeah. But we were happy. We were just positive. It wasn't anything that was to prove anything to anybody. That's just how it is. And if you take a look at life, you can have your glass, as they say, half empty or half full. It's how you look at it. Now, I've been homeless twice. When you are down and out, first time was 22 years old, and I had a child, homeless with a kid, you know. But when you're down and out, and you're that far down, and you've got a kid, and you're kicked out of your place because rent's due, you don't have the money, and your wife took off with everything. Everything, yeah, those little kids. Anyways, we were just too young to get married. So you know how to make it. Now, when you're that low, I had a friend of mine who's a blues singer said, when you get down so low and you look up, all you could see is an ant, right? Well, when you're that low, you can only go up.
True.
So instead of, you have a choice. You could sit around and blame what happened to you on everybody else, which is usually what people do. Or say, hey, that's how things turned out. Now I'm going to turn things around. Another very important thing, when you're down and out, first thing people do is blame it on everybody else but themselves.
So true.
When you start taking responsibility, you have a little different outlook. You also have the responsibility of turning things around. When I started Paul Mitchell, I was homeless once again, totally by accident. And I started the company out of the backseat of my car.
How old were you at that time, 37 or something?
I was 34, 35 at that time.
So you were homeless at 34, 35 again?
Yeah.
And what was this series of events that led to that second time?
It was just that we had money set up, $500,000. We needed to start the company with that kind of money. And the day I was ready to start, go down to the bank and get the money, my partner, the hairdresser, Paul Mitchell, flew over from Hawaii with his girlfriend, and we were ready to get the money and get going and get started. I'd left everything I did. My relationship wasn't working out, so I left the house, plenty of money for many months with her, had a few $100 in my pocket. Took the used car, which is 20 years old, but a decent one, okay, down the hill to get the money.
Wow.
I was going to check into an efficiency, it all set up. The money never came in.
No way.
Never. The guy changed his mind. He knew he would only sell it to beauty salons. And the reason we picked that area was for two reasons. One, if a hairdresser who's in hair all the time likes your product, they're going to recommend it to their customer to take care of their hair in between visits to look the same. They're the experts. And we didn't have a major multi-million-dollar advertising budget going the other direction. I had been for those last 9 years in the professional beauty industry. Of course, Paul was also. What a perfect, beautiful industry to go into. And I knew that I could knock door to door and sell my products without an advertising campaign. We had no money. Our motivation when we started was not to have a giant company. Our motivation to start with was survival. Survival. I thought, I have nothing. I left everything I'm doing.
Right.
And God, let's just give it a shot here. I'll sleep in my car. We know our products were darn good. If people used them, they want to reorder them. Let's go for it. It took us 2 years before we knew we'd be successful. Our dream when we started out was if we could only get this company up to $5 million a year, we'd each make about $250,000, $250,000. We have it made for life. We're so excited, right?
Yeah.
Then as things rolled, I learned how to be a little better businessman. As we got bigger and bigger, I brought other people on board to run operations. Other people are much better than I to run other parts of the business they were more qualified to do. And we had no idea. First thing is, it could not be a sales pitch. If you're selling somebody with a sales pitch, you're trying to create a sales. When you're trying to sell somebody something instead of selling it to them, help them make the right decision and put yourself in the reorder business. For example, selling is all about, here is the feature of my product, and here's how it's going to benefit you. Make sure that those features and benefits are honest. Don't go lying to people. Don't exaggerate. Here's the feature of the product. Here's how it's going to benefit you. With our Paul Mitchell conditioner, because it was leave-in conditioner, I could put some in their hand, right? Now, once it went in their hand, they didn't know what to do with it. And I could finish explaining. We have two hands out like this, their hand and my hand. I could finish explaining it. They don't know what the world to do with this, right? But I have their full attention. I set the bottle down. They say, by the way, rub your hands together. It neutralizes all the chemicals in your body. Put it on your skin. It's very good for your skin. It's a leave-in conditioner. There's all these great things. So that was part of the technique. And then obviously the other part was, you want to help people make the right decision.
Right.
Often people will say to you, no. They're not really saying no, they're saying I haven't been convinced. So it's very, very important in sales to realize this. In our case, we have every line in the world. Why do we want a new line that no one knows, okay? And for us, we would say, because this product saves you time and money. One shampoo instead of two, a leave-in conditioner opposed to one. You've got to spend 10 minutes in the back basin waiting and then rinsing it out of their hair. Saves you time and money, it's new and exciting. And I will come back, show you how to sell it. If in a period of 1 month, it's not the hottest product and you're not totally satisfied, I will take back every bottle you haven't used or sold out the door and give you your money back. Now that's fair enough, isn't it?
Right. And you would not just like that.
Oh yeah, and I would give them their money back.
Yeah.
I believe in our first 2 years, only one bottle came back. It was genuine confidence. There was no doubt in our minds. Our product is so good. If you use it as a hairdresser, you'll want to use it again and again and again. And we were right. Again, within the first 2 years, only one bottle came back. It's a combination of several things. One, obviously, is the cost. And number two is your thinking, your mindset. If your mindset is to sell something to somebody, that's your business, that's your mindset. If your mindset is, I want to be in the reorder business. And if it's a one-time sale, I want it to be so good they're going to tell their friends about it. When you have that mindset, well, what's going to create a reorder? I like the product so much, I want to use it again. Now, it doesn't mean that you have to go the cheapest or the most expensive. It means you have to have the best, or conceived as one of the best, or something that satisfies their needs. It's like marketing is fulfilling a need in the marketplace, but in such a way that your sister, your brother, your best friend's going to use that product and say, this is really good. I want to go out of my way to order it again. Salons, how often do people go to salons? I think the average is once every, for those that go once every 6 weeks, something like that, to get a haircut, get a trim.
Right.
Well, in between, do they want to make sure they have enough when they go back to get enough to last them the next visit? Got to be a good product to do that.
Yeah, no,
one that works. That's why Paul Mitchell, my gosh, we'll be approaching next year almost 40 years in business. Wow. And our original product, shampoo 1, shampoo 2, and the conditioner, we still sell. The products are that good. And in my industry, every 3 or 4 years, you flip products over. Our products are that good that people say, I want to continue to use it. It's still the best. I knew some of the stuff I was doing, but especially how to run and get involved in a company that did more than $5 million a year, let alone to the hundreds of millions, billion. The value of this company, my God, you learn along the way. I kept on learning and trying to do everything. After about 9 years, I realized, man, I can only do so much. That's when I brought in people like Luke Jacobellis, who was far more experienced than I was in running warehouses, running inventories and things of that nature. And all of a sudden he had this responsibility. Another person was great at this and they had that responsibility. So you have to learn, once you get pretty big, how to find the very best people, better than you are. I say to management all the time, whether it's government management, independent management, or corporate management when I lecture, always find somebody in your department or in your business that can do it better than you are and hire that person. I tell my division heads here at all the companies I'm involved with, guys, even though you're full operations, you run the businesses for me, make sure that when you hire someone, that person you hire has the capability of being better than you. Now, what if they go on and you don't go on? You are one of my best managers. Any manager that has the brains to hire someone better than they are and has a better capability, That's the kind of person I want on board for the future. I'll commit at more of a creative end of PR and say, here's my input on this, not on everything, but on some of the things. And I go by, how do I feel? You know, how does my spirit feel about it? How do I initially feel?
My intuition.
Yeah, you know, how do I feel exactly? You know, what's my intuition on this one? Then does it make sense? And then from a consumer's point of view, if I was this person, how would I look at it?